Welcome back to Yoga with Krysta. My name is Krysta French, and today's class is a 40-minute intermediate full body Vinyasa flow for strength and flexibility. We will be working into some arm balances, headstands, as well as lots of stretches to get into some tighter areas of the bodies. You'll walk off your mat feeling strong, flexible, and relaxed. So when you're ready, I'll meet you on the mat. We'll begin our class today seated, just coming back onto the heels, gathering the hands into the lap. Let your eyes close, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Allow your shoulders to find some softness. We'll begin with some side body stretches. So lower the right hand down to the right side, extend that left arm all the way across, and then switch. Left hand lowers, right arm reaches off to the side. Again, lower the right hand, left arm extends, keep reaching, and then come over to the left side. So really big stretch through the rib cage, intercostal muscles. One more time to the right, big breath here, and then one last time to the left. Rolling the heart open. Start to walk your hands forward, come onto your hands and knees, and move through your cat and cow poses. So really trying to get into the hips and into the shoulder. Begin to link your breath with your movement. So if it feels good, you can even connect here with your Ujjayi breath, that ocean sounding breath, constricting the back of the throat, breathing in and out of the nose. Come back to center, walk your hands just one palms width forward, toes tuck under, press it back, downward facing dog. So our first down dog of the practice, start to really move around. So get comfortable here. Can pedal your heels, bend the knees, shift the weight through your hips. The head stays really heavy, maybe shaking the head out yes and no. Keep grounding through the palms, trying to take a little bit of pressure out of the wrist. And then gaze comes forward. Take a walk up to the front, lengthen the spine. Exhale, soften your knees and fold over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms reach high, palms press, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands lower through the heart and all the way down to the side. So stand nice and tall here. Roll your chest open and then inhale, the arms lift, palms press. Exhale to fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine, find a flat back. Lower your hands, step it back to plank. Core stays strong, and you lower with control down to the belly. So untuck the toes, walk your fingertips to the outside of the mat, peel your heart open. So a little back bend here. Lower back down one more time. Roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. Lift the chest, lower back down. Palms come to the floor. Press up to plank and back to downward facing dog. So full breath here. Try to lengthen out. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Step it up in between the hands and then walk your hands to the long edge of the mat. So feet are parallel and fold forward. So Prasarita Padottanasana. The head gets heavy. It's almost like we have upside down chaturanga arms here. So the elbows are bent at 90 degrees. Begin to walk your hands forward. We're going to work right into a twist. So right hand stays down, extend the left arm high. Rotate your ribs open. Nice big twist. And then switching hands, the left hand lowers, the right arm reaches. Steady breath here. Lower the hand down. So finding a different type of twist, the right hand is going to come across the left leg. So take a peek underneath the left armpit, rolling the chest upward. And then switching sides, left hand comes around the right leg. Take a peek under that right armpit, rolling the heart through. And then almost like an extended puppy pose. Both arms reach forward, nice long spine. Let your chest and your head get heavy. So all that weight just releases. And then come back to a flat back. Let your hands come down to frame the foot. Step back into plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. So check back in with your breath. Inhale, the right leg lifts, and then step it up in between the hands. The back heel spins down as you reach up for warrior one. So soften your shoulders, get really grounded through both of your feet, pressing that front knee on top of the ankle. Maybe the palms press, maybe the gaze comes up toward the thumbs. Steady breath, release your hands behind you. Start to interlace the fingers as you lift the chest, and then fold over to find humble warrior. So the shoulder can rest over the thigh or fall on the inside. So really getting into the hips. Come all the way back up, sweep it up, warrior one. Lower the hands down, and then step back for plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Steady breath, calm mind. Inhale, left leg lifts, and then step it up in between the hands right into Virabhadrasana 1. Again, press deeply into both feet. That front knee is over the ankle. That back heel is pressing down. Make sure that the lower belly is pulling up and in, so we're not dumping weight in the low back. Hands release as you take them behind you. Interlace the fingers. Roll your chest open, fold into it, humble warrior. So really nice opening through the hips and into the shoulders. I'm just trying to move those hands away from the body any amount. Come all the way back up, right into warrior one. Steady breath, lower the hands. Step back to plank, take your vinyasa. So meeting back, downward facing dog. Connecting with that Ujjayi breath, look forward, step or float up to the front, flat back to lengthen, and exhale, we're folding. Inhale, arms reach high, press the palms up overhead, hands down through the heart, and down to the sides. Inhale, reach up, gathering it all in. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to your flat back as you lengthen, and hands find the floor, step or float back, chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, try to lift the thighs. Exhale, downward facing dog. So steady breath, calm mind. Notice where your thoughts are. And then inhale, the right leg lifts, step it up in between your hands, drop the back knee. Finding a low lunge here, reach your arms high, and then creating a twist, we're going to hook the left elbow over the right thigh. Top palm presses down, rotate through the ribs, rolling the heart open. Nice full steady breath. Find your balance here. Untwist, reach your arms high. From here, lower the hands on the inside of that right foot. Step the right foot open a little bit further to the right, and then tuck your back toes under. Lift the back knee to find lizard pose. You can start to shift a little bit forward and back here, just getting into the hips. So nice active lizard. From here, walk your right hand on the outside of the foot, step that foot closer to the center line, and then walk the left foot in a little bit. So pyramid pose. Find a flat back as you inhale, and then exhale, we're folding over that right leg. So both feet are firmly on the ground, and we're working on getting into the right hamstrings. Notice your breath. Notice the body. Notice any shifts and changes. And then walk your hands forward. You can tuck the back toes under, lift the knee, and then reach up, high lunge. So nice full steady breath here. Spin the back heel down, reach open to find warrior two. So gaze over the right fingers, revolve your warrior. So nice big side body stretch. and then come all the way down into extended side angle pose. So this version, the right hand's going to find the ground, left arm is an extension of the body, and then take the bind. So left hand comes around the low back, right hand comes underneath the thigh, clasp your hands, pull the left shoulder back. Steady breath, release the grip, look down, working right into lizard pose again, and then stepping into side plank. So right foot stacks over left foot, hips are lifted. We're getting nice and strong here. From here, lower the right hand and then pressing back, finding your vinyasa or skipping it, meeting back, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, begin to lift the left leg high, step it up in between the hands. The back knee comes down, reach your arms high and find your low lunge twist. So the right elbow hooks over the left thigh. Give the palms a nice big press as you rotate open to the left side. So really let this twist happen from the lower ribs rather than just the chest. So everything is opening up. And then slowly untwist, drop the hands on the inside of the foot, walking the left foot open a little bit, tucking the back toes under, lifting the knee, finding your lizard pose. Feel free to rock a little bit forward and back just to get into the hips. So full steady breath. Just opening up. And then from your lizard pose, walk the left hand on the outside of that left foot. Walk the foot closer to the center line. Step the right foot in for pyramid pose. And then find a flat back as you inhale. As you exhale, fold over that left leg. So pressing and really grounding through that back heel will help keep you balanced. From here, walking up onto the fingertips, tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee. You can step it back just a little bit. Reach up to find your high lunge. Spin the back heel down, open warrior two. So that left knee is pressing open toward the pinky toe. Begin to revolve your warrior, reach back through the left fingers, and then arm, that left hand can find the ground on the inside of the foot. Try to create a nice long line from the right fingertip to the heel, and then to go deeper, working into that full bind. You can always work with a strap here if the bind is a little bit too intense on the shoulders without one. So keep pulling your heart open, nice full steady breathing. And then release your hands, coming back into your lizard pose. Take a breath here. And then step the left foot back to find side plank. Keep the hips nice and high. So we're trying to create a nice long line all the way from the crown of the head down through the heels. Full steady breath. Lower that hand down. And then into chaturanga, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Find your breath here. Reconnect with that ujjayi breath. Gaze comes forward. We're stepping or floating into malasana, so yogi squat. So feet come nice and wide. Hands come at the center of the heart. Roll your chest open. So lift the heart. Keep pressing the elbows against the inner thighs to open the hips a little bit more. And then lower the fingertips down, lift your hips high, finding Padangusthasana. So grab hold of your big toes, make sure the feet are inner hips width, and then fold into it. So in our Padangusthasana, we want to make sure that we're shifting the weight forward into the balls of the feet before straightening the legs. So that's going to give you a much deeper stretch in the hamstrings rather than going directly from straight legs. So keep your elbows wide, shoulders away from the ears, head is heavy. Release and find a flat back. And then you can step or float it back right into chaturanga, upward facing dog, and then coming back, downward facing dog. From here, gaze comes forward, step or float up, lengthen, and exhale to fold. Inhale, arms reach high, palms press up overhead, hands lower through the heart. And just steady the breath here. We're coming right into some balancing posture. So the right foot is going to hook across the left knee, sink the hips back. So bending the knees, the hands come together in front of the heart. So you should really feel a stretch across the IT band, into the glutes, into the hips on that right side. So the lower you sink the hips, the deeper the stretch is going to become. Try to keep your chest up, open and upright. So making sure that we're not hunching. Come all the way back up to stand, and then use that right hand to catch the inside of the foot, working right into dancer pose, Naturanjasana. So pressing the foot evenly into the hand as we reach forward with that left hand. Slowly coming out of it, the knees come to touch, release, and shake it on out. So shake out the hands, shake out the legs, and then switching sides, bending that left knee, hooking the left foot on top of the right knee and sinking the hips back. So again, we're trying to create a nice open chest here, a nice flat back. And the deeper you sink the hips down, the deeper the stretch is going to become. You can always use blocks here under the hands. Steady breath. We'll slowly come back up, bending that left knee behind you, catching the instep of the foot, working right into dancer pose. So foot presses firmly into the hand, reaching forward with that right arm, and try to get an equal amount of hinging and pressing. Release what you have, shake it out, inhale, the arms lift, and exhale to fold. Inhale, flat back, lengthen. Hands down, step or float back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, find downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. How's your breath here? Gaze comes forward, step or float up, right into chair pose, Utkatasana. So get heavy in your hips, weight is back in the heels. Good. And then from here, we're sinking the hips. We're just pulsing the hips down. We're going to end in boat pose. So keep lowering the hips. Every time you pulse, get a little bit lower. Arms are still reaching out of the shoulders. And eventually we sit back right into boat pose, Navasana. So lifting the legs any amount. So if you can, straighten the legs and lift them all the way up. That's going to be your fullest expression today. Roll your heart open, keep reaching your hands forward, really firing up the core. So we are going to do some arm balancing later, so really making sure to activate and wake up that core. So nice steady breath, you got this. Just a little bit longer, and then eventually the feet come down, finding bound ankle pose, Baddha Konasana. So the feet come together, roll your chest open. And you can always use your elbows as a little bit of resistance against the inner thighs to pry them open a little bit more. Slowly come back up. And then you can scoot back just a little bit if you are close to the top of your mat. Lengthen the legs. The right foot crosses over the left thigh. Left knee hooks around. Find a twist here. So right hand is behind you. Left arm twists over toward the right side. So every time you inhale, see if you can lengthen. And with every exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Let your gaze come back to center. Untwist, walk yourself off to the left side. Nice little counter twist. Come back up. Extend that bottom leg. And then plant the foot down onto the ground. So the right foot is going to hook on top of the left knee, working in towards our double pigeon, but you can always stay here if you know double pigeon is a little bit too intense for you. So the hands are behind for support. Breathe into that stretch. And then to go deeper, if you want, the left foot slides over toward the right side. We're trying to work the ankle on top of the knee and knee over the ankle. Now, if you have the flexibility and it feels good, you can start to walk the fingertips forward and maybe even hinge a little bit over the shins. So really nice stretch. getting into the IT band and the hips. Slowly we come back up, and then that left foot is just going to extend long, shake out the legs. This time left foot comes around the right thigh, bend the right knee, and then stretch the right arm up, find your twist. So twisting off toward the left side, gaze falls over the left shoulder. And let your gaze come back to center, untwist. Take a little counter stretch, walking it over to the right side, come back up, and we're releasing that right foot, hooking the left foot on top of the right knee, walking that right foot in. You can keep your hands behind you for some support here as you lift the chest. And then if you want to go deeper, start to walk your right foot over toward the left side. So ankle over knee, knee on top of the ankle. Reach your heart forward. Nice long spine, getting into the hips, getting into the glutes, opening the IT bands. And then slowly come back up. Extend both legs, give them a nice little shake. We're going to bend the knees again, feet come down, hands behind you, lift up for reverse table pose. So rolling the chest open as you lift. Steady breath here. Should really feel an opening in the shoulders. So fingertips are pointing towards you. And then we lower back down. This time right leg stays long, left foot comes into the inner thigh. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold over that right leg. So Janu Shirshasana. Reaching the heart forward. Nice full steady breath. And take another deep breath here. And a full exhale as you come up. Open that right foot out to the right side and close up the gap in between the foot and the thigh. The right hand comes on the inside of the right foot as you roll the chest open. Now you can either take your left hand behind your head and reach your elbow down toward the foot, or just reach the fingertips down toward the foot. So either way, you're rotating the heart up toward the sky. Full steady breath. Release and lower the left hand down behind you. Lift the hips, extend that right arm all the way. Lower the hips down. Extend both legs. And then this time, right foot comes into the left inner thigh. We're bending that knee and folding over. So Janu Shirshasana. Nice long spine, getting into the hamstrings. And just stay connected to the breath. Noticing that this side might be a little different. And we'll come back up. Take that left foot, open it up. Close up the gap in between the foot and the thigh. Lower the left hand down. And then either bend your elbow and reach your elbow to the foot, or reach the fingertips toward the foot. Find that nice big opening in the chest. And then slowly lower that hand down, lift your hips, reach that left arm back, and then the hips can lower back down again. And start to lengthen the legs, give them a little shake. So working here on some preparation for that arm balance, we're going to bend the left knee, just place the foot down, bend the right knee and cradle the shin in your arms, rock it side to side, open through your hip. And then that right knee is going to come on top of the shoulder, as high as it'll go. The hands find the ground, extend the left leg, pull the lower belly up and in as you lift off the ground. So lower back down, we're going to do that a few times. So you can hook that right knee as high as it'll go over the shoulder. Keep that left leg long. Pull everything in as you lift up, press down. And then one more time, you can relax here for a moment, maybe rock the leg. And then we're going to hook that knee on top of the shoulder. Hands find the ground. Spread the palms, lift the hips, lift the legs, breathe here. And then lower back down. Shake out the legs, let it go. And we're going to move right into our full version of our 8 angle pose. So we're taking that knee on top of the shoulder. We've been here before. This time we're hooking the feet, right foot on top, left foot beneath, and then starting to press into the palms as you shift forward. The shoulders are working forward but not sinking below that chaturanga line. We're extending the legs straight out to the right side. Look toward the feet. You got it. Breathe here. So nice, full, steady breath. Try to make sure that that left shoulder is not sinking down. So give it a try. Keep breathing, and then we'll lower the hips and then extend the legs. Give them a nice little shake. So that's a lot of work on the core and the hip flexors. We're going to do the other side. So we're going to bend that left knee. You can cradle it in your arms. You can keep that right knee extended or bent. And now, everybody extend that right leg. Hook the left knee on top of the left shoulder. Palms down. Shift the weight forward and lift up. Breathe here. So really press the ground away and then lower back down. And again, we're doing it twice more, just that elephant trunk pose, and then we're coming into the full version. So try to hook that left knee on top of the shoulder. Hands find the ground. Flex your feet, extending. Come all the way up. Press the ground away. Use your core. And then lower down. Release. Open through your hip. We have one more here. We're going to hook that knee on top of the shoulder. Hands find the ground. Shift the weight forward. So shoulders over wrists, and then we pick the body up. Breathe here. Steady breath. And then lower it back down. And then again, you can hug that knee in, rock it side to side, and then we're coming into the full version of our 8 angle pose, Astavakrasana. So hooking the knee on top of the shoulder, hook your feet now, left foot on top, right foot beneath. Hands find the ground, shift the weight forward, kick the feet out to the left side. Try to make sure that we're maintaining that chaturanga arm. And then gazing over toward the feet if it feels okay. Steady breath, lower the feet and the hips down. And let it go. Shake it out. Nice job. That's a pretty tough pose. You can shake out the hands and the wrists. You can start to roll your wrists. Just trying to get some movement, some lubrication into them, giving them a little break. From here, the hands come behind you. Press the hands and the feet into the ground. Lift your hips. Another round of table pose, or reverse table rather. Keep the hips high and then lower back down. Cross your shins. Hands find the ground. And we're walking it on back. From here, lower down to the belly. Let your forehead just rest on the backs of the hands. You can wiggle the hips a little bit. And then the right hand's going to extend off to the right side. Left hand comes under the shoulder. And then start to bend the left knee. Place the foot behind you, behind that right leg. Roll onto the right shoulder. So you should feel a nice stretch and opening through the right shoulder. From here, if you want more, the left hand can find its way across the low back, or you can just stay with that hand planted down. So either way, nice big opening in the shoulders. And then slowly lower back down. Let your forehead rest on the backs of the hands. Wiggle the hips a little bit. And then to the other side, the left hand extends. And then placing that right foot behind you. If you want more, you're going to drop that right hand behind the low back. If not, just stay with the hand down. So you should really feel the stretch in the shoulder. So we just did a lot of shoulder work in those arm balances. So take a moment to rest here. Stretch it out. And then slowly lower yourself down to the belly. Begin to tent the fingertips as you press up. Find a little back bend. Roll on down. So placing your hands down like you're going to find a Sphinx pose. The right knee bends to the right side. Press the right palm down. Lift your elbow. Slide that left arm underneath the arm and then roll onto your back. So the gaze can come over to the right side. Try to get as much of both shoulder blades down as you can. And it's okay if that knee comes off the ground. So this should just be a gentle restorative twist. And let your body just melt down into the mat. We're going to untwist, come back into our Sphinx pose. Elbows underneath the shoulders. And this time the left knee bends. Right hand slides underneath and we're rolling all the way onto the back. And if it feels okay, you can look off to the left shoulder. Just let your spine release here. And then slowly we're going to lower all the way back down. Coming into our Sphinx pose one more time, rolling your heart open, isometrically pulling the elbows back toward the ribs, reaching the heart forward, almost like you're pressing the mat down and pulling it towards you. And then slowly lower back down, wiggle the hips a little bit side to side. From here, we're pressing back to child's pose. So a nice counter stretch. Maybe your forehead rolls a little bit back and forth. Let it go. Release it. Come onto the fingertips. Stretch out across the spine. And then we're coming right into our Shirshasana headstand. So begin to cap your elbows, interlace your fingers, drop your head down in between your hands, walk your feet in. From here, you can pause in that egg position with the knees bent, or you can start to lift all the way up into Shirshasana A, headstand. So trying to find that long line of energy through the legs, shoulders away from the ears, lower bellies pulling up and in. Keep pressing through your forearms. Keep the core nice and strong. And then to give it a little bit more, we're going to start to pike the legs. So try to get them at 90 degrees. So they're just coming down halfway, and then they're slowly lowering back up. So that's a really nice drill to do if you're working on just strengthening the core and working on your headstand practice, just trying to deepen it a little bit. So keeping those legs long, slowly piking them down. And this time we're going to lower all the way down to the mat, coming right into child's pose. So whether you were in that headstand for a few moments or the entire duration, make sure that you always take a child's pose. So letting everything reset. And then we'll slowly come back up. Gathering the hands into the lap, take a moment, just notice. You can close the eyes here. Take a nice full breath in and a full breath out. And then press back when you're ready, downward facing dog. So shoulders away from the ears. Gaze comes forward. We're stepping or floating the feet through, working on to our backs. And then once you lower down onto your back, give your knees a nice big hug. Rock a little bit left and right, or just stay still if that feels better. Find a happy baby. So the hands come around the outer edges of the feet, rocking side to side, getting into the hips. And then maybe circling the knees, so releasing that happy baby. Just taking little circles with the tops of the knees, massaging across the low back, and then finding Supta Baddha Konasana. Feet come down together, the knees are going to open, one hand on the heart, the other on the belly. Now, if that does not feel good in your body for whatever reason, you can always walk your feet wide to the edges of the mat and let your knees knock toward one another. So either way, focus the attention on the breath. Notice your inhales and notice your exhales. Let them be full and complete. And then we'll slowly begin to lower down into Shavasana. And as you come into your Shavasana, make sure that you're comfortable here. So allow your shoulders to find some softness, maybe a subtle tuck of the shoulder blades under the body. Let your hands get heavy. Let your legs relax. Notice if you're holding any tension in the facial features. See if you can let that go. And just focus the attention back on the breath. Staying present in this moment. And some movement back into the fingers and the toes. Just some subtle movements, maybe opening and closing the jaw, nodding the head back and forth. You can even reach up and take a nice big stretch, just lengthening the spine, and eventually roll off to your side. Pausing here for just another moment before pressing all the way up. Find a comfortable seat. Allow the spine to stay long, and let your hands come to touch in front of your heart. Take a moment just to notice your body, notice your mind, notice any shifts, any changes that have occurred since you first stepped onto your mat. And start to thank yourself for choosing to practice, for choosing to show up and to honor yourself. And thank you all so much for sharing your own practice with me. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. If you enjoyed this yoga class, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel and click the bell so you'll never miss a free yoga class. I would love it if you tag me on Instagram at Krysta French so I can see who is practicing with me and connect with you. For more resources, you can check out krystafrench.com. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you on the mat soon.